It's no accident that sounds like you're leveling up in a video game. 48% of 18 to 29-year-olds have an online dating profile.
Make them work for it.
45% of people say they're more frustrated with this form of dating than hopeful.
There are so many people you can connect with.
Should I swipe right?
Swipe wrong. Swipe wrong. Setting the record straight on dating apps. Everyday people telling everyday stories of the swipe right world with your host, Chaos.
Well, I know he had a good time.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night. How y'all doing? Hopefully you're doing outstanding. Welcome to the #1 podcast amongst people who record top 100 podcasts. I don't know. I don't know where that one came from. I hope you're all doing outstanding. The world is great. If you're out there dating, I really, really want to hear your story. Shoot me a text, 317-426-6616. And it's almost cathartic, I promise you. Like, it's getting it out there, sharing. I think over the past month, I've gotten about 5 messages, and used to get more every so often. I think just because I would make myself more available, about people who have listened to the show and said, "Oh my gosh, I appreciate the fact that I'm not the only one going through this madness." So someone can always identify with what you're going through. But like I said, 317-426-6616. Give us a call, shoot us text, email us swipewrongpod@gmail.com. Hopefully everybody is, finding their person, whether it's in the wild, whether it's through the apps. It seems like more and more stories are coming through the wild, which I think is kind of cool. It seems like over the years, we've had a hard time, just talking face to face anymore. So if that is going by the wayside, I'm a big fan. Face to face, sign me up. Sign me up. This show, every time I talk to somebody, I learn something new. I know her. I've talked to her a few times, and even still, I got to pick up some more stuff about her, which is pretty awesome. So as you know, as I know, you know how it goes now. Sit back, relax, put your feet up, grab your popcorn, get it buttered if you want to get it buttered, throw some caramel on it. If you're in traffic, please, 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 don't hit that person next to you, and enjoy happy endings. We'll call it happy endings. I was going to say happy endings are not just found in Asian massage parlors, but we'll just call this one happy endings. All right.
Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions or any entities they represent. This podcast is about dating experiences. It is not to say one dating app is better or worse than another.
You got on the apps in January?
I got on the apps in January.
How long were you off? Roughly. I mean, that'd be
like 2 years.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I was in a relationship.
Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah.
Sorry. Those can be great. I'm sorry. That's the whole goal. Yeah, those could be. Okay. Yeah. So, what was it like being away for so long and then back on? Were you like, holy shit, I remember what this is like? What was that like?
So it was kind of a mixed bag. There was definitely like, I had a little bit of like dread of like, ugh, I don't really want to do this again. Mm-hmm. But, that's never like the way to go back on the apps. So.
For sure.
What's that?
For sure. I'm just saying for sure.
For sure. Yeah. So my relationship had ended in, it kind of started going downhill, well, probably over the summer. And then like October, November, it was like pretty much done. And so like November, December, it's like whatever. And then I was talking to, my polygamist friends. Oh my God, I have a story for that. I got to tell you about it.
Good. Okay.
But, I was talking to them, and one of them made the comment about, the first weekend in January is like the highest traffic day on any of the apps.
Oh, I didn't know that. As much as I've done the show,
Yeah,
I've never heard that. I didn't know that.
yeah, and I'd forgotten it. It's because like it's like post-holiday. So now like, kind of around the holidays,
Sure.
there's not a lot of activity around the apps because people don't want to like start a relationship and then have to, bring people to families or buy them gifts, or they just don't have the time because they have all the commitments that they have with the
Yeah,
holiday.
makes sense.
So it
Makes
like
sense.
dropped off, and then it's like the first like Sunday. I think it's the Sunday after New Year's Day.
Oh, wow.
Like you'll have to Google it, but it's something
Okay.
like that. Then it like traffic is like insane.
Okay.
Um, so one of the girls had reminded me of that, and I was like, "Oh shit, I better get in on that." Might as like if you're gonna do it, you might as well like go all in.
Right. Right. Totally.
So that's what I did, and you know how it is. Like, well, if you haven't ever been off for a substantial period of time, when you get back on, it's like it's overwhelming because it's like rapid fire.
Yeah.
But I said, I was overall pleasantly surprised.
Get out of here. Really? I love that.
I don't know if it's because I'm getting old. Like, no,
You stop it right now. Stop
no,
it.
but I
You
mean,
are
like,
not kidding.
seriously.
Yeah.
Like, we always joke that, like, the people that are going to be into my age women are older.
Right.
Sadly. Like, the guys that are my age, like mid to late 40s, are looking to date people in their, like, mid to late 30s.
Right.
Or
That's
late
fair.
40s.
Right.
So the guys that are looking to date me are, like, in their 50s.
Right.
And sometimes I get a little, I'm like, I don't know that I'm down with this, right?
I'm not ready for that age group yet. I'm
I
not.
agree. I'm like, I don't want to date some guy that's like 57. Like that just doesn't seem okay to me.
God, for as active as you are, you're probably like worried, like, dude, if he breaks a hip, that's not going to work out well. That just doesn't feel good. Like, especially, can't imagine. Never mind. Go on. I was just, yeah, breaks a hip during sex. Who
On the
knows?
flip
Yeah.
side, these like older guys, I think, are maybe finally like less into playing games.
Well,
You
that's
know?
cool.
So or like, and they've been, most of them are divorced at this point and like have had kids or something. So I don't know if it's some of that. I also think there's like what I notice is like the apps all have like more ability, for lack of a better term, to press buttons to like define yourself or say what you're looking for or who you are or not
Yeah.
without like, having to have a conversation. Like in the past, like if you were looking for a threesome for you and your wife, like there wasn't really a way to put that on your profile unless you like typed it out. But now
Right.
it's you can put like you don't even have to like type a profile. You can just put 20 bucks,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I will give myself credit. I think I was also dating smarter
Yeah.
in the past.
How
like,
so?
well, I think I just wasn't falling for some of the bullshit
Oh,
and like was much more selective. And like, I'm like, if you didn't take the time to write anything or like, like I'm not playing the game. Like you've had to put some effort into this because otherwise I know
that's
you're not
fair.
committed.
That's
you
fair.
know?
Yeah.
So, and I did better about like cutting it off, like,
Good.
but I actually went on some really great dates. Like I didn't
Yeah.
have a terrible date, which normally I feel like you kind of end up with a terrible date.
At least one, like
At
one
least
out of three, we'll say one out of three,
But
one
I-
out of two, somewhere in
But
there.
in
Right?
like full disclosure, I met somebody in March. So I was
Okay.
on for long, which was weird.
That's good though. Like yeah, I feel like you like maybe you came back and your boundaries were better established, you know?
Yes, I would totally agree with that. I think boundaries
Yeah.
are much better established. I think I was much more selective, or discerning, I guess, like about who I was going to talk to. And I also, back to like the rapid fire, it was like once I was talking to a couple of guys, it was like, I'm not expanding this right now,
Good.
until I like
Sure.
get rid of a couple, then we'll look again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not, it's like, it's too overwhelming, especially when you don't have a lot of time. Because then I can't even find time to go out with four guys. Like that's not gonna
Oh shit. We were talking about the text messages earlier. It's hard to find just to return a text
Yeah,
sometimes.
exactly. So
That's tough.
I think
I
it
mean,
was
you sound like so you had great dates, you had
great dates.
good experience.
Yes. Yeah, I
I'm
really did.
this is
And
pretty amazing.
I know. I was like, there were two guys that I like talked to that kind of pulled the typical, bullshit of like asking for nudes or
Hmm.
whatever, like before we've even met. And
Right.
like, and I always tried it, and I always try to like turn it into a joke, make it a thing, like I'm not gonna like, I try not to like shoot it down like in an angry way. I try to like
Right.
make this like a haha situation and like throw it back in some sarcastic way or funny way.
Good for you.
And then, depending on how they handle that is like kind of determines my next move. If they kind of back off and they read the room, fine. But
Yeah.
like the one guy got like all pissy and was like,
Really?
oh yeah, he was just like, well, I just think, I just don't think like, how did he say it? Something like we're not aligned in this way or whatever. I was like, you know what? I think you might be right.
Bro, you just stepped in it. I mean, we're not like, duh. I mean, I
Right.
mean, yeah.
Like, dude, I've never even fucking met you. Like, if you want me to send you naked pictures, like that sounds amazing.
It's the most immediate turn off for every woman. Send me pics. Oh, see you, bro. Take care of
Yeah.
yourself. I
It's
mean,
like,
good
come on.
Lord.
Like, and I
Exactly.
flirt with me. Absolutely.
Right.
Like, and I feel like like I said, I'm pretty lenient. Like, I will give you a little leg room and then I will be like, okay, reel it in. Like, don't
Yeah.
cross the line. Or if you
Sure.
cross it, I'll be like, okay, you crossed the line. Let's not go there. And if they're
Right.
like, oh, my bad, sorry, like, got carried away, then I'm like, it's fine, no big deal. But
Yeah.
when you get
Yeah.
pissy about it, you're out.
That's just a big old little bitch. So let me ask you this. So you were off, and then your support group of polygamous friends, did they like, all right, it's time to get back on the wagon? Is that kind of how that kind of went?
No, actually, I think one of them, she was a little bit like, I think, take some time. You need, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. And, and I had said to her, I was like, listen, I'm not like going out to like because I'm like lonely and need attention, right? Like
Right.
I very much have decided like I would rather be alone than be in an unhappy relationship.
There you
Like
go.
any day
100%.
of the week, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm okay. I've accepted, like, I may spend the rest of my life, quote, alone or without a partner or whatever. So be it. On
Right.
the flip side, that's not what I want, right?
Sure.
Like, that's not my own personal goal. Like, personally, I would like to be in a partnership. I would like to have a relationship with somebody again. And if I'm not doing anything to make that happen, and I mean, it doesn't dating apps, joining a club, getting set up, like whatever it might be. If I'm just
Grocery
like
store,
waiting
throw
for
shit in
the
the cart. Yeah.
right, if I'm
Yeah.
just like waiting for the door to open and somebody to walk through it, like that's not going to happen.
Right.
So it's not like a getting on the apps in terms of desperation, is like getting back on the apps of like, well, hey, maybe I'll go on some fun dates, maybe I'll meet some cool people, you
Sure.
know, and like the bullshit's not going to bother me in the way
Yeah.
it would have, like to your point, 8 years ago when I first got divorced.
So like on this time, we talked like it seemed like your boundaries were better is what we said, but on this time versus last time, not that you were, I don't know, desperate or lonely,
Yeah.
whatever last time, but sound like, your mindset's entirely different and it was a much better experience this time, huh?
Yeah, well, I think part of it too is I was so naive. Like
Yeah.
first got divorced, I had never done online dating, right? Like it
Right.
wasn't a thing when I got married. Like that was like Tinder had just come out. Like, and I knew like one person who had ever gone on Tinder, and it was like that was all there was. And then I was like married and having kids. So like
Sure.
I'd never been on Match, like I hadn't done any of it. And I
Yeah.
am, at my core.
You're good to your core. You were
I'm
so good to your
I'm
core.
so good at my core. And at my core, I am overly trusting,
Ah,
right?
sure.
And
Yeah.
so, like, people would tell me, I mean, again, we've talked about this. Like, you're on a dating app, I assume you're single. Like, little did I know. But, like,
I
that's like
know,
the
right?
last thing you should assume.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So it was like, okay. So I think just like having gone through all of that in the past and like, meeting guys that were married that I didn't know, the polygamist, like dating somebody
Yeah.
who was dating multiple women at the same time.
Right.
Like even just like talking to other people now, like now that I've been divorced for a while, I know more people that are divorced, right?
Sure.
It's like when I got divorced, everybody was still married.
Oh shit.
Now there's a lot more people that are, with my kids.
Just give it time. Their relationships are coming to an end sometime soon.
Exactly. So like, you learn from each other and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I think that yes, and right, like we've all talked about, like what is my one friend, she calls it dumpster dating. Is that what she calls it? Like
Okay.
when you first get divorced, it's dating for attention and validation, right? Like
Sure.
we're all in
Sure.
that phase. And so
Yep.
you kind of get past that phase.
It's a good way
I
of
think
putting it.
you date better.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. But and
Yeah,
like
I'm-
I do feel like, I will give myself some credit for picking better guys this time.
You should.
But I do also think it's like the age.
Do you really? So what was your age range last time? I mean, like I know it was a while ago, but let's just say
Well,
you were in a
that long
relationship for a little
ago.
while. Yeah, a couple years ago. So I mean, did you really up your age or did like
No,
because guys
no.
don't fucking mature, that's for sure.
I would say that so yeah, let's think about this. I don't think I ever really go more than 5 years older than me.
Okay.
So
So
I
you did
would probably
adjust it a little bit.
maybe 5 to 7 or 8-ish, I would think,
Okay.
max I've ever gone. So, that means I was up to guys in their like early 50s.
Okay.
I think I went to like 52 or 53.
All
And
right.
then I won't go. I've decided I think like mid 40s, I'll go to 40.
Okay.
I won't go below 40.
That'd feel a little weird, wouldn't it?
That would feel a little bit weird. And
Oh, he's so cute. Oh.
yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know, but just like I said, the thing I noticed the most, and I remember saying this to the polygamy girls, is that in the past, I felt like guys' profiles were like nothing, right? Like there was hardly anything written,
Okay.
and I do think the apps are better because now they throw all the prompting questions. So
Yeah.
you get you get a bite, you get something to bite on.
Yeah.
But I felt like guys' profiles were so much better than I'd ever seen them in the past.
Really? That's
I
interesting.
was
That's good to hear.
really surprised. I was like, wow, people are like spending time on this,
You know, it's funny. And it kind of makes me think like, so the apps are doing a better job of it. It sounds like too, because you do have the prompting questions and I'm sure
And like
they
the
make them.
video, like in voice messages.
Yeah. That's good too. Because I mean,
Yeah.
you kind of can know what you're walking into. But I wonder how many profiles are also created through ChatGPT.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, right?
Absolutely. I mean,
I bet
you've got
it can make it
bots
sound
working
good.
against you.
Yeah.
You've got all these people lying, and now you throw ChatGPT into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And just to make it sound like a good profile too. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe, through the guy's like, I don't know what to write. So let me throw it into ChatGPT. See what, oh my God, that's great. And then, maybe it's exactly what you're looking for too. So the resources are a little bit different too.
I would venture to guess, though, that is for sure happening in the like 20, 30-year-old range.
Sure.
I wonder how much it's happening
That's fair.
in our
That's fair. That's fair. That's
I
fair.
think- I think some of us are like, I think there's a lot of people our age that are kind of like, what's ChatGPT?
I'm still trying to program my VCR. I don't know what to fucking do here. Yeah, I get it. That's true. ChatGPT is probably not there yet. So that's
No,
fair.
but I agree with you. I think for sure there are people doing it.
Yeah.
I without a doubt. I used it for the first time to communicate with my ex-husband recently.
Really?
I wrote this whole big email and it popped up like it was like, do you want to analyze this or get suggestions? And I was like, well, this might just be entertaining.
Did you make some changes?
I totally did. It was like, you might want to change your wording from this to this. It sounds more cooperative. And I was like, okay.
He's gonna be like, this doesn't sound like her at all. What's going on here?
If he did not crack up reading that email because there was not one part of it that sounded like I wrote it.
You changed that much, girl? Oh, you changed it that much?
First of all, you know me, right? Like,
Yeah, yes.
I can't hide anything.
Right. You're pretty
This
straightforward.
was like so PC and neutral that like there's no way that I wrote it.
Did you tell him later you did? Did you say
No,
that?
hell
No.
no.
Okay. Good. That'd been funny too, though.
Absolutely not. But I was like, he's gotta fucking know.
It's
But I told
like,
my mom, I was like, I will never write an email to him without ChatGPT again, ever. It was so much better than anything I could have written.
oh, you know what's crazy is I had somebody tell me like they told me this story about how they use chat or a friend of theirs used chat GPT and I guess like somebody was walking out of the house and they
Okay.
heard like a slap on the ground and they turned around and like one of their goldfish or whatever, one of their fish jumped out of the tank and landed on the ground.
Oh no.
And yeah, and they're like, oh fuck, what do we do? So like they took a picture of the fish, uploaded to chat GPT and said, this is what happened to my fish. It's not moving. LOL. I think it's dead. What do I do? Gave him a whole list. Put it in a small bowl with a towel around the edges, so that way it doesn't have to really move around and it's in a safe environment.
Oh my
Then and then it gave like step by step for like a week long to where and then you eventually introduce it back into the tank and save the
oh
fucking
my
fish's life. I know, right? I'm like, well, god damn, I don't need WebMD. I mean, I go to WebMD, and if I have a cough, I'm going to die in a week anyway. I'll just use ChatGPT and maybe actually have a shot to live. But yeah, I had like my cat had an infection in its eye or something. I took a picture of it, and the ChatGPT was like, "Oh, you fucking pussy, he's gonna be fine. Don't worry about
yeah,
it." And
like
it's like,
ignore this.
yeah, like all right, I was just checking. I'm not going to take him to the vet if you're going to tell me it's cool. It's
Right,
like,
yeah.
but the things that it can do is crazy.
Yeah, no, it is for sure. I definitely well, and I was saying that the other night. I still struggle with like these like I say young kids, like
These
20,
kids nowadays.
these kids nowadays, like, why are they on the dating apps? I'm like, go freaking meet people in real life. Like, what is wrong?
But like, think how hard it is for you too, though. Like,
Well, but and so that's like to me, that's my excuse or different is I'm like, first of all, everybody I know is married, right? Or I mean,
all right, sure.
half the people I know now are no longer married, but like
Right.
a lot of them are married, right?
Right.
And it's like having the kids schedule and work schedule, and it's like you just don't, and like you kind of have your friends, and it's like, and I work with nothing but women,
Oh,
so
wow.
I don't meet people randomly,
Gotcha. Right.
whereas like I feel like in your 20, like you're going out with your friends, you're meeting their friends, you're working at new jobs, like you're meeting people all the time. And like why like I don't just go to a bar, right?
Right.
Like
Right. Right.
and meet people. Or like if I didn't have my kids, like I would join a running club or like I would be more involved in something that I enjoy because I would have the time to do that.
Sure.
Whereas
Totally.
now
That makes sense.
I'm dealing with hockey schedules. There is no
But I think the difference between like us and let's say them
yeah.
is like we're okay talking to people and like their communication is all like and I
Mhm.
talked to some people like I'll know at Best Buy and 18 to 24 and it's all through Instagram. Like it's all just like that's they don't even really text. They just,
Yeah.
hit each other through
Or
Instagram and
Snapchat.
stuff.
I mean, with my
Yeah.
kid, it's Snapchat.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
only like they send no text to each
Uh-uh.
other. They
It's
don't
not
even, yeah.
it's not can I get it's like if I want to ask you out, it's hey Kara, can I get your number? With them, it's hey, can I get your snap? Can I get
Yeah.
your and you're just like, well, okay, all right. And so it's just different. Like it's foreign to me just because I'm not used to it, but it's just second nature to them. But it's not a face-to-face conversation half the time.
No, it's I well, and I said that last night. Like there's a big street fest in my neighborhood,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
one of the girls I know, like her son was there. He's a freshman in high school, and they were getting ready to leave, which is why he like came back to her so they could go. And I had not met him before, and so we were chatting, and like I was like, this kid can carry on a conversation.
Ah,
Me.
that's
Like so impressive.
yeah.
I was like, good job.
You want you want to just be proud of them for that, right?
I mean, well,
Jeez.
that's what I said. I'm like, it's amazing,
Yeah,
And
it
but
is.
I'm like, I'm impressed by kids that can carry on conversations.
How old was he?
He's 14.
That's impressive. Yeah, it really is. Because I'm sure the first thing he wanted to do was put some sort of screen in front of his face.
Yeah, and but he totally didn't. His phone was not out. He engaged.
Really?
I was like, good job. Like
That's awesome. That's
yeah.
awesome.
It was very.
So what's going on with the girls? I mean, like I think you said you had a story with the polygamous stuff.
Oh, okay, yes. So the street fest I was just telling you about. So on Friday night, because if you remember, me and the polygamists live like a mile from each other.
I forgot about that.
Shockingly, I've not run into him very often over the last week.
Very often. Okay. All
Like
right.
I've run into him, like, and when I say run into him, like there was one day we came to a four-way stop sign and our cars were there. So
Uh,
is that a run-in? You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
there was no interaction or anything, but it was like you're looking to the right and all of a sudden you're like, oh shit.
Oh shit. Yeah.
So, or like one time I was on a run and he drove by, you know what I mean? So
Oh sure.
it's never like really been like a true run-in.
Yeah. Okay.
So, anyways, was at the street fest and one of the polygamous girls had come in to watch, there's bands and music playing. So her and a couple of her other other friends, they were coming in. And so then I got a text message from one of my other girlfriends. And so I grabbed the polygamous girlfriend, met up with her and her group, and then went to go meet my other girlfriend. And lo and behold, who is standing right next to her? But
Shit. No.
turns out my girlfriend's boyfriend, they've been dating for like a year now, plays volleyball with the polygamous
Oh no.
girlfriend. So they're all standing there in this group. And she had kind of warned me. She's like, he's here, FYI. And I was like, oh, that's just entertaining. So it was kind of one of those where like I initially was kind of like behind and off to the side of him.
Uh-huh.
And then so like there was never eye contact made, but I could just see out of like my periphery that he had turned his body and he saw me and the other polygamous girl. And then all of a sudden he's standing there like talking to this guy who I don't know, I don't recognize. It's not like somebody I'd ever met before. And this guy just stares me down. Like
Really?
like looks at him, looks at me, like I get the stare down, and I was kind of about to be like, what's up? And then all of a sudden, this other girl who I'd assume is this guy's girlfriend, the polygamist and his girlfriend, tell everybody goodbye and bolt. I was like, way to clear a room.
Victory! Jesus. I mean, like I wonder if he had any idea that you guys were even friends.
Me and the girl that
Yeah.
he knows because he knows because
Oh, okay.
when I confronted him about everything,
You told him, okay.
I told him that, and that was like we were friends on social media at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It down, and that was actually the first thing I did. Well, I confronted him, and then we all went out, and I posted it because I knew he would see it, and
Wow.
that was like my little thing. So yeah, I posted
That's
it,
cool.
and then he blocked me. Like I
Oh
mean,
shit. Oh, he's 15. Oh.
yeah. But I'm like, he's got to be so annoyed with me this week because the other thing was on like Wednesday or Thursday, one of my like best friends texted me and she's like, she has a daughter who does like theater. And I had come to see her play like over the summer, one of the plays she was in.
Uh-huh.
She was like, you can't come to her next play because the polygamous daughter is in the play with her. And I was like, bull fucking shit, I can't come. I'm doing
Right.
why? I'm like, he can fucking leave if he wants to.
Right. It's
So
not
it's
like an
like-
intimate setting, right? It's a decent
Yeah.
theater, right? Okay.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and she was just like, giving me the warning or whatever. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
she didn't really like mean you can't come, but she was just saying,
I'm
bye
like,
to her.
fuck that.
So I was
No
like,
way. You
I
never
am
did anything
all-
wrong anyway.
I am all around him this week. Like,
Good for you. Like he definitely, if anybody deserves it, he definitely deserves it.
I know. And he bolted out of there because he's apparently he's been dating this girl for like a year. And
Really?
she doesn't know. I mean, or whatever he told her is not the full truth.
Oh.
Or she's like being one of those girls that thinks, oh, he's changed. And I'm like,
Oh God.
I
can
do
save
think
him.
there are some people that cheat once and make a mistake
Sure.
and don't do it again. I do think that is possible. But I do not think that is possible in his situation. I'm like, you don't cheat with like 10 women at once
Mm-mm.
and over
Orchestrated.
a period of multiple years.
No, no.
And
I mean, it's funny. The term digital detox is in my head from all that shit. Like, it's just like you don't like. That's just. It's a great line. It's a great thing. I mean, it's like people will get it. It's the biggest line of bullshit ever.
yeah,
And so I just like anytime I hear anybody saying like, "Oh yeah," and then did the person, they just wanted to kind of cut off communication. Oh yeah, digital detox. I've heard of that. That's usually when they're out screwing somebody else. Yeah, and they're like,
exactly.
"What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Swear to God, it's the truth. Watch, watch."
Right. Let me tell you why I know.
Yeah, yeah. And I think we're doing the show. People are like, "You're really jaded, aren't you?" I'm like, "No,
I know.
I just hear all the shit." I mean, it's like I'm not
How can you
jaded.
not be?
I cheer for all the good, but like I see the signs of the bad.
Right, right. Well, yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, that was like my point when you're saying like when you do it for a while, you do get
yeah.
better. Like,
Just like going back to the apps, you're like, "All right, I've got my boundaries. I've got my age limits. Same
and I
stuff."
don't fall for the bullshit and
No,
question things
no.
way more than I used to. And I mean, sometimes it's a little bit like back to being an optimist or not, right? Like
Yeah,
sometimes it's
sure,
a little
sure,
bit exhausting because my natural tendency is to trust people and not to overanalyze like their
sure.
intentions or what they're doing. But I will say ever since that, when somebody's like, oh, I'm out to dinner with a friend or I'm doing this, I'm like, are you?
Yeah,
Is that what
yeah,
you're really
sure.
doing? Like,
Yeah,
are you
yeah.
actually with a friend or are you on a date? You know?
Yeah. And how, like, all right, so you went through the relationship. Did it take a while to have full trust?
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's
I mean,
fair.
okay, so I'm just screwed again because that guy was lying to me too. So
Fuck.
I'm just like,
I'm
how do I
sorry.
like I pick these guys? Like, what is wrong with me?
No, and there's nothing wrong with you. You're like, you're legit amazing. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just people are fucking stupid.
Well, it
Well,
was just like stupid too, because like basically what ended up happening, I mean, and everything is different in hindsight, right? So
sure.
like he had been married, had kids. I always, and I knew he'd had like a significant relationship before his marriage, like they had lived together. And like when you can tell like a relationship, like I always knew the relationship before the one he got married to was the one that meant more to him than
Mm,
marriage. Like
okay.
you pick up on that.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
knew that that one hurt more, at the end than the marriage did.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
so lo and behold, as it turned out, he was actually married to that woman as well. So he'd actually been married twice, which he hadn't shared, which I'm like, and he was like, I didn't think you'd go out with me if you knew I'd been married twice. I was just really embarrassed about it, but all legitimate things. Like, I get it, right? Like, I probably would feel the same way if it was me, I'm sure, or at least I can be empathetic to that.
Sure.
Maybe I wouldn't have gone out with him. I'm not going to say it wouldn't have been a flag because it probably would have been.
Okay.
My point was, like 6 months in, you wouldn't want to tell me this?
Yeah,
Like if
for
he had said it at
sure.
that point, it wouldn't have been a big like it wouldn't have been a big deal. Like I would have been annoyed, but I would have kind of been like, I get it. I can see why you struggled to tell me or whatever. But 2 years in,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. And then when I was like, okay, dude, like I've been lied to, I've been cheated on, like
Totally.
my thing, and you chose to do it anyway. So now, of course, I'm gonna be like, well, what the hell else are you lying about?
Right.
Because that's gonna just set off every trigger that I could potentially have.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, I can't handle you. I'm like,
No.
2 days after you telling me this, where I'm like, because of course, and like, I'm kind of upset for a couple of days, right? And I'm kind of like, what else do you want?
Justifiably so.
Yeah. And he's like, well, I mean, if you're never going to trust me again. And I was like, at no point in time were those the words that came out of my mouth. I told you I'm struggling a little bit right now, but I think like I'm justified in that. Like, I think you got to give me a little bit of processing time.
Yeah, for sure.
At
Totally.
the end, I think it was all just an excuse,
Sure.
uh, which is fine. You know what I like, but whatever.
Sorry. It sucks.
No.
It's bullshit
Yeah.
and it sucks, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Um, Let me ask you this. All right, so to what you're saying, do you think being divorced twice is more of a red flag than say married once and maybe in like a 4 or 5 year relationship and broken up?
No, I mean, right. Like at this point, I'm a walking red flag, right? Like,
Stop it. You are not. You just need a shower. Stop it.
I've got, serial relationships here, right? So it's like, why is nobody like staying with her? So
No,
it's
stop it.
to me that it's a red flag. I think it's like it depends, right? Like, what's the circumstances? What are the stories? What's the reasoning?
Sure.
Like I have a girlfriend that was married young, divorced. I think they were married for less than a year. He was cheating on her, you know?
Go
And
figure.
then years later, married her husband, had kids, married, they were married for a while, marriage fell apart. So she's been married twice. Like, do I think either of those were red flag situations? No,
Yeah, sure. Sure.
but could it be? I think there's potential.
Yeah.
Like, is this somebody that like gets married at the drop of a dime, marries because, how
Sure.
men frequently, and I'm stereotyping, but I feel like it's more often that men kind of get pressured into marriage,
Mm,
whether they want to or not, or it's like,
okay.
oh, well, it was just the time, it was the next step, and it's like, well, that's not why you get married.
No, no,
Yeah.
not at all. That's
So I
that's why
think
you get a dog. I mean, that's not why you get married.
right, exactly. So I think for me, it would have just been like, well, what, like, it would have probed more questions,
Yeah,
like,
sure.
well, what happened? And like, I think he was honest about why that first marriage ended. He wanted kids. She changed her mind. She
Gotcha.
decided she didn't want kids. And
Gotcha.
so, I mean, I get it, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's gonna probably end a marriage. Like,
Yeah.
so knowing like he told me that part, he just left out the part about that they were legally married. Like
Which seems silly. Like it really
that's my
does.
whole point. That's
Yeah, like if you're
like
is that where it comes to if you're lying about that, what else are you lying about? Is that what it
and
comes to? Of
that was my whole thing. And so yeah, I mean it's like then it turned out he was lying about some other stupid shit like
course.
smoking and I'm like, why? Like why are you lying about any of this? Like,
Right. You're
you
six
know.
months in, and then what was it? Like there's
Like
no like
if he had told me 6 months in, I would have like, you're dumb, don't be an idiot. Like, but I get what you were afraid of, fine. But like 2 years in, I'm like, dude,
yeah.
you've been like with me, with my kids. You know what I mean? Like we've been our lives were intertwined and
Yeah.
you know,
God
you were
damn.
lying to me the whole time. So right, like now I'm questioning you at your core, right? Like
It all comes back to the core.
it all comes back to the
You know?
core. Are you good at
Uh,
your core? I don't
yeah, that's the thing. Like, are they? Like,
know.
the polygamous, no, but
No.
like this guy, I don't
I
know,
mean, I don't
man.
know. Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
questionable.
Like, it's always comes back to if they lied about this, what the heck else did they lie about? That's the hard part. That's always the
Well,
hard
I
part.
think to hold a lie that long, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think
Yeah,
sometimes people do, it like kind of starts as a white lie or it's a moment of vulnerability that they're not ready for, or whatever. And I can be very empathetic to those situations, but it's like if you can play that lie for 2 years
yeah,
and
yeah,
I not have any idea.
yeah.
Like then you're kind of like, ugh.
Somebody you're that intimate with, and let's take the smoking. You're someone you're that intimate with, and you couldn't tell like the smoking. That's a lot of cover up. That's a
Yeah,
lot of cover up.
exactly.
It's a whole
Exactly.
lot of toothpaste too. Holy
Yes.
cow.
Yes.
Jeez,
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah, well, all of
Like
a sudden I had
changing
to
your
struggle with
clothes.
all the time.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, good Lord. So yeah, if you're gonna go that far to carry out the lie, just
Yeah.
for that, what
Yeah.
else you doing? Like and maybe there's nothing else, but sure, it's gonna
Right.
raise the eyebrow a
Well, and
little
then if
bit.
you're not going to take any responsibility and be willing to deal with the consequences of like breaking trust in a relationship,
Yeah, that's true.
and like to me, that's the bigger flag. Because if it had been,
Yeah,
you're right, what do you need from me right now? How do we get past this?
yeah.
Like that's a whole different conversation than 2 days later being like, I can't handle you. This is too much.
That's bullshit.
You
That's
know?
totally, I can't handle you. This is too much.
Yeah.
God forbid you go through like a death in the family or something like that, and what he
Right.
would have done then, how he would have
Yeah.
or not have been there for you.
Exactly. So
Uh,
yeah, totally agree.
so did you say you started first of the year and you got off again in March? Is that what you said, or did I misunderstand?
Yes, I know.
Yeah. So back into a relationship then?
But back into a relationship. I mean, I don't know, I shouldn't say that. I mean, this is the whole thing that I kind of hate about dating. Like we were just talking about our friend, right? Like
Right.
calling her his girlfriend, like,
Yeah, sure.
and then my one the one other polygamous girl, we talk about this because she's been with her boyfriend now for a few years, and we're always talking about that. Like, what's the terminology? Because like I'm 46 years old. Saying I have a boyfriend is like it
Yeah.
just is weird,
Right.
right?
Sure.
In her case, she's like, like we have a life together,
Yeah.
but like partner doesn't seem right because there's a whole different, definition behind that.
Yeah.
And, I'm like, you don't
Yeah.
necessarily want to take that away from that community, you know?
Right.
And so I
Sure.
keep telling her, I'm like, we need to coin a word. Like we need to like coin a word for what this is, but we have not been able to come up with one in her scenario. And I don't like boyfriend, but
Yeah.
the point being when you're in this phase where it's like you're not like, so you go through the whole conversation about getting off the apps.
Yeah.
That's like a whole thing.
Sure.
And that's a trust issue,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
are you actually off the apps? And
Totally.
then it's like, so then you're off the apps, maybe not, you've agreed you're not dating other people,
Right.
but you're still in this like gray zone, right? Like, you're not my boyfriend. Maybe we haven't met each other's friends or family. Like it's still this like weird place where you're just trying to get to know each other.
Sure.
But
Sure.
you're not dating other people, but like you're not, I mean, I don't
You're exclusive, but you're not showing up on Thanksgiving for dinner. Is that what we're saying?
exactly.
Okay.
Right. Or and like maybe your friends haven't even met it, like maybe you guys haven't met each other's friends yet or whatever.
Right.
I don't know, so it's all a weird play. And it's like to me, it's like that's kind of the anxiety provoking place in many ways. Like,
Yeah.
well, because you don't know exactly what the expectations are, it's like what's okay, what's not okay. Like if I do this, is it going to be too much? If I don't do this, is it not, like you're constantly like trying to figure it
So
out.
your anxiety is mainly on the next move, like where it, like not pushing too far or not doing the wrong thing. Is that kind of what you're
Right.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think in general, like that's where, right. Cause like you're like, okay, works like, and I mean, I'm just talking in generalities.
Yeah. Because that's kind of where I'm taking it too.
This
Like,
is kind of like that phase that you're at, right? Where it's like, if you do bring this person to meet your friends, like, are they gonna be like, oh, I don't know, this is too serious for me, or like, are they gonna be like, oh, fine,
sure,
whatever,
sure,
like, and obviously, like, hopefully you have enough of a jive with somebody that like you know that that's okay or not okay, but
right,
sometimes, you're not sure. I think people like you're not sure, or like what's maybe not a big deal to me is a huge deal to you,
sure,
or
sure,
vice
totally,
versa.
totally get that, totally get that. It's funny. What you're saying just makes me think of something that I read or heard, I want to say within the past couple of days, but it wasn't relationship based. It was just in general based. You were talking about the anxiety of the future. And I heard like I think the saying was yesterday's done. Forget about yesterday. It's over. Like it put in it's written off.
Yeah.
The anxiety of tomorrow sucks, if we can but what we can do if we can master the now, that's the thing, because with the anxiety of tomorrow fucks up our now,
Yeah.
all the time, because we're so worried about that we're just not here and present.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with relationship and what you're talking, not entirely what you're talking about. A little bit though, because if you
A little
master
bit,
the
yeah.
now, if you master what's going on now, then maybe it'll help what's going on in the future.
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
tough.
I think it's that weird thing too. Like, so the guy I'm seeing now, like we were out for dinner one night and like where he lives.
uh
And, well, not even, it was like 15, 20 minutes away from where he lives, whatever, next, neighboring town. And all of a sudden, like in walks some, another couple that he knows. And then it's like you have to introduce me, and it's like, how do you, because it's like you're not
This
gonna
is
say
my
like
friend Kara, but
right.
yeah,
But then
right.
like you hesitate, right? Because you're like, on the one hand, you're like, well, if I say she's my friend, like I mean, and like we had this whole conversation about it afterward, which I gave him credit for because he like called himself on it, right? Because it was like
Yeah.
he didn't know what to do because like if I'm gonna like introduce you to my friend, are you like, well, shit, I thought we were more than friends, like.
Yeah. Yeah.
But on the flip side, like you're not like it's back to the like you're not my girlfriend, so I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say this is my girlfriend. And then it's like you like stumble all over this, like you don't know what to do with it.
Because he doesn't like, who knows? I guess at that point, he's not sure how, like, what he wants to say, or maybe he knows what he wants to
Totally.
say, but he doesn't know what you want to hear either. It's like, does
Exactly.
she want to hear? So yeah, you're
Yeah.
running. Oh
Like, and
man.
it's back to that, like, is it too much? Like, if he had said, this is my girlfriend, and I had been like, whoa,
Yeah,
not
for
so
sure.
fast, buddy. On the flip side, if he's like, this is my friend, and I'm like, dude, I wasn't your friend in bed the other night. Like,
You still would have been, whoa, not so fast, buddy. Like, yeah, yeah. This is the girl I'm eating dinner with, and we're going back to the room later, and we've been hanging out for a long time. I don't know what to call this. That's like, is that the new introduction? I mean,
exactly. So that's what I mean by like the
yeah,
anxiety of dating. It's all this like finagling and like, trying to handle like what's like kind of a gray area,
sure, sure.
you know?
I've always thought, or I've always felt in my life, whenever I'm nervous or scared or have anxiety, which I don't get it too often, but I do, and I don't want to sound like I don't get it, but it's just my stupid
Yeah.
ass personality. Um, if I honor that, like let's just say we're like, I'll give you an example. Let's just say you and I were on a date, and I
Yeah.
wanted to kiss you, and we were walking to the car, and I
Yeah.
was nervous about it. I would
Yeah.
probably turn to you and say, you know what? I'm fucking scared, but I really want to kiss you right now.
Would
Because then,
you?
oh, totally. Because
I love
then
that.
everybody's guard is down. And then it's like just
Yeah.
out there in the open. There's no,
Yeah.
I went to go kiss her and I fucking licked her cheek. I mean, there's nothing like that. It's just like, I'm just going to put it out there. I feel better about it. Then you can probably relate to it. And then
Right,
if you're not feeling it, you're like, well, good thing you didn't try, motherfucker. And it could have been that. I mean, like, oh, cool. We all know where we're at. But if you honor the fear or the anxiety and just put it out there, you see where it
right.
goes.
Yeah,
That's
no,
all.
to me, that's like communication, right? Like,
Sure,
I
sure.
think that's the problem that I like struggle with in dating sometimes is that I always joke that like I'm an over communicator. And
Okay.
so, which is like some guys can't handle because I'm just like, "Ugh," you know,
Stop.
it's all out there all the time. But
Right.
I'm like, because I'm like, I was having this conversation when I went and got my haircut on Friday, right?
Uh-huh.
And my hairdresser is also divorced and single, and so we swap stories sometimes, whatever. And I I see her like every few months or whatever. So I was like, "What's been going on?" And I'm like, "Well, tell me the latest story." And so she was telling me about this one guy that she'd gone out with, and she was saying how, and I've noticed this about her that she admitted it. She was like, I just feel like they should pursue me.
Mm.
Like, I want them to come after me. And I was like, okay, fair to a point, but
Hmm.
like, you never initiate any contact or ask them on a date or like at some point they're also going to be thinking that you're not that interested.
Yep.
Oh,
Totally.
like I've talked to enough guys, that I'm like, I've not talked to a guy that has ever, like frequently I feel like that's what guys complain about, that like they don't get that feedback.
Yeah.
So and right, like they are expected to be, traditionally to be the one putting that initiative out there. And I'm like, if you have to make the call every single time, like at some point you're not going to make the call.
Right.
And she's
Right.
like, you're right.
You're right. You're right.
I
Is
probably
she?
really mucked up a few of these things because I'm just like not giving the vibe. I'm like, you got to give the vibe. Like you got to
Yeah.
do some work here.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like eventually you're like as from a guy's perspective, we're like, all right, she's just not feeling it. Cool.
Yeah,
Like we all, I don't want to say we all, but like everybody has some sort of roster, or at least other people they're going to pursue who are
yeah,
giving them 10% more than she is, and they're going to be like, cool, at least I'm getting a little more here. Let's just
yeah,
see where that goes. If she gives
yeah. Like
10%
you got
more,
to
it'll probably
throw a
change
bone
everything.
periodically here and like
Yeah.
know you're interested.
Uh,
Like,
yeah, I get wanting to be pursued. You hear that a lot, but boy, man, you got to give them a few signs here and there.
well, and because I have said, I mean, I think I was, today years old or whatever when I realized that guys don't have as much confidence as
Oh
I
yeah,
think we are led to believe.
false bravado,
Yes.
a
And
lot
I'm
of it.
I did not realize that for a long time that, guys have a
Yeah.
lot of their own insecurities and whatnot.
Hmm.
And I think it's just that, right, like you're brought up to not be as vocal about it as women are, right?
Right.
Like, so I think it's, I'm like, it's hard to put yourself out there and ask somebody out over and over again. Like, give them
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of false bravado. And then, of course, where it will all tie back to, and I think it's the number one crippling thing in all guys, it's the ego. If they think their ego is going to get, hurt and going to bring them down, boy, they're going to stay away from it as much as they can because they got to protect their machismo if possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is crippling for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, God, actually, here's the girl said, I don't know what I'll have to talk about. You got plenty to talk about. What are you talking about? Jeez. Like, it's perfect too. Like, I don't know. It sounds like what you're going through is almost in this new chapter. I don't want to say relationship. It's kind of a new discovery on where things go.
Yeah, I mean it's been interesting. I've kind of laughed because I told him he's like the male version of me. And
Uh-oh.
so I like early on I was like, we are either going down in flames or we're gonna
Hmm.
be together forever.
Mm.
It's gonna be one
Yep.
of the two. Like,
Yep. Like I don't believe in yin and yang. I don't believe in opposites.
okay.
I believe in yin and yin. I
Yeah,
believe that we're yang and yang, whatever you want to go with,
yeah, yeah,
because that way you'll have the same interests, you'll have the same in common, you'll have the same communication styles. And I get you want to learn from each other. There'll still be enough to learn, but at
yeah,
least you'll be on
yeah,
the same page. Yin and yang is a bunch of bullshit to me.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think it depends. I mean, again, it's like everybody's a little bit different, like
Sure.
the one of the friend I was just talking about that's been with her boyfriend for a few years now. She was just actually recently talking about that one of her other girlfriends was kind of like not a huge fan of the relationship at first, and I think part of that is because she is so outgoing and like huge personality, and he's much more of an introvert, quiet
Mm.
guy. And I think her friend was just kind of like, I don't see this working. And she was like, I need somebody that is not going to jump off the Brooklyn Bridge with me.
Mm.
Like,
That's
I
fair.
need to be the
Yeah, the
personality,
personality. Sure.
and he is totally fine with her being all those things,
I sure, and that I get as long as they carry like they're both like they both like hockey or they both like
Yeah, yeah, they have
five
to,
other things that'll carry everything. I
yeah,
get like I was in a long time ago. I was in a relationship like that where she was much more quick tempered than I was, and that was the same thing. Like I kept her like my temperament
right.
kept her
You kept it
cooler,
calm. Yeah,
but on the same time, like she got me to react when I probably should have reacted too, in different situations. So
yeah,
I definitely get that part.
yeah. So yeah, I
Right.
think it is interesting, but yeah, I'm the same. I'm like, I can't have somebody that has like the same level of anxiety that I do.
All right, maybe not yin and yin, maybe yin and yin, we'll say. So that way
But,
it's not totally yin and yang, it's right in the middle.
but I agree with you. And I think like, to your point, like I'm super outgoing. I have a big personality and like I kind of dig that he's the same way, right? Like
Yeah.
it's, I don't have to like I've dated guys that are much more quiet and introverted, and if I like am throwing them into a room with people they don't know, like I kind of got a handhold, right?
Yeah.
Like
Ah,
and that's I don't love that. So
no. I
like you
totally get that.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, and I think at this stage too, for me, it's a lot of like lifestyle factors, right? Like working out is super important to me. Like if I'm with somebody that like that's not a priority for them, like it's probably not going to go well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Especially when we're not 25 anymore. That's how we stay young.
right. Yeah. So yeah, I think like I mean that is like the good thing about dating, right? Like you learn more about yourself and what like I think with each relationship, you learn more about what's important to you or what you
Yeah.
need, what you
Yeah.
can't put up with or, any of those things.
Yeah. And that's how you kind of get to where you're at. Like that's how dating got better for you. That's how maybe the
Yeah.
start of this relationship's probably one of the better ones that you've had too. And you found more of what you're looking for than maybe you've ever noticed before.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But yeah, now I
Um,
got to figure out how not to lose it.
don't stop.
Relationship.
Just master the now. Just master the now. That's okay. Don't worry about the losing it part. Just master the now, and you'll be
Because
in the
it's
best
funny,
position.
one of the dates I went out on in like January or February, he really honed in on asking me why I had had these multiple failed relationships. Like
What?
it was interesting. And the thing that was actually in hindsight more interesting about it is when I met the guy, I didn't know that he wasn't actually divorced yet.
Oh
Like
shit.
it's still in process. And that's like, to me, I won't go down that road.
All
Like at
right.
this point, like, I've been divorced for 8 years. I mean, there is a difference between being divorced for a year and being divorced for 8 years. Like
Sure.
there's a difference
Sure.
between 1 year and 3 years. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
your path, like you're on a path, but like we are, like I am so far ahead of you, you
Yeah,
know?
for
And
sure.
when you're not divorced, there's still a lot going on there.
Makes
But I
sense.
already been talking to him for a while before I realized, and I really did like him, and he was really sweet, and we did have a lot in common and all those other things. And so I was like, okay, fine. But then he was like really nitpicking on me about like why I had failed relationships, like these
Really?
2, 3 year relationships that had failed or whatever. And I was like, but I mean, but it was okay. Like he didn't do it in a bad way. But I was like, I mean, these are fair questions. Like I would be probably asking the same ones, so I'm okay with it, you know?
So is he just trying to dissect how the relationships devolved, or was he just trying to find out just more about you?
I think it was a little bit of both. I
Yeah?
think it, like to our point earlier, talking about our friend, like he's waiting for the crazy.
Yeah,
You know,
sure.
I think there was a little bit of like, okay, well, wait a minute, like, you've had relationships, so obviously you're not like running around and dating 20 guys or whatever. But on
Right.
the flip side, like they've all ended. So
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
what's going
Exactly.
on?
Right. That's the thing, man. It's like nothing's gonna last forever. We want to try to break down why every relationship ends. I guarantee you're gonna. This isn't like fuck. We're not playing Clue. It's not someone did it in the conservatory with a fucking lead pipe. I mean, they
Right,
all
but at
have
the same
different
time, I
reasons.
do think there's like it is important, like again, when like you meet somebody who maybe hasn't been divorced as long, part of what I'm looking to hear is them take some ownership in why the marriage failed, right? Like if they're
Mm,
just like, oh my ex was a piece of work, she's a bitch, she did this, she did that. I'm like,
yeah.
no, like all of those may be true, but also there you contributed to the downfall of this relationship in some way. Like
Yeah.
my ex cheated on me. He did a lot of things wrong. Can I turn around and say there are some things I could or should or would have done differently? Absolutely.
Right.
And if I don't
Right.
own that part of it, like clearly I've not grown, right? And so like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
I think the main thing I think I listen to is I hate blame. Like I just hate
yeah, right,
like
exactly.
or they were like what's the thing everyone's gonna say? Oh, they were a narcissist and they just held me down and
Yeah, yeah.
they were like I don't have time for that because that's just the mentality of the person. Maybe there
Right.
were a lot of things that are true, but like you said, like all right, so let's look in the mirror and figure out what could have done differently.
Because you
Uh,
were with this person at some point for some reason.
Yep, you chose them. You chose them. You walked down the aisle for a reason. You loved them for a reason. Why did it fall apart? It's funny. I feel like,
And you probably didn't go into that thinking it was going to end in a divorce. Like
uh-huh,
people get
uh-huh,
married, they are not planning for a divorce.
right, right. And there's awful things that happen in marriages. People do
Absolutely.
change. Things do happen.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, but I think the psychology of just non-accountability just drives me nuts.
Exactly. So I like that's why I wasn't like offended by the questions
Okay.
because I feel like that's kind of where he was going with it of like either is there a red flag here?
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
know. Yeah, which is fair. Excuse me, and or like does she own any part of it, you know what I mean?
Gotcha. Okay. That makes
And
sense.
so but again back to like dating being on the apps this time, it just felt like everybody was so much more intentional
That's good.
than
That's
anything I knew.
great.
Like, these were good questions to ask me, right? Like they were
Yeah.
like for a guy to ask those questions, I was kind of like, whoa, all right. Like,
Yeah.
especially given like he's not like it's not like me, right? Like he hasn't been divorced for 8 years and like done a lot of dating, gone through all the growth that you go through after a divorce, like, or that hopefully you go through after a divorce. Like
Yeah,
he's still
sure.
kind of in it.
Yeah.
So I
He's
was
got a
kind of
long way to
impressed with
go.
the questions. I was like, all right, fair,
Yeah. And maybe he's trying to figure out what's going on in his own divorce too and how he can handle that too. That's interesting. All right,
Yeah.
I get it now. All right, I'll back off him a little bit, but still, leave her alone. Jesus.
You're just protecting me.
I am. I'm like, what the fuck, bro?
You're like, she's amazing. Stop it.
Took the words out of my mouth. Jesus. I mean, she is a little allergic to a shower, but that's just after yard work. That's it. Other than that, after a workout, she's fine. Oh, I don't know. I'm just like I'm glad thing like it sucks because the cycle sucks. Like there was
Yeah.
a decent relationship in there. All right, that went south, and then you're like, oh, here come the apps again, and then it
Yeah.
went way better than you thought, and then here you are back on a good path. Just like it's all a good path.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully.
Oh, we'll speak it into existence. I know, just like we said, waiting for the crazy, but let's hope
Yeah.
it never shows up.
Have you ever, or do you, maybe somebody on your show, this is like an interesting component. Have you ever dated somebody that, like, okay, you know how a lot of people either are like their ex, like if they're married or whatever, they're sure children together, they have like a volatile relationship, like the two people can't be in the same room together.
Hmm.
There's like kind of a like in the middle where like they tolerate each other, they do okay, but like, they don't really love each other, but they do all right. They do it for the kids. They put on a good act, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then very, very, very rarely you get the two people who like genuinely like each other, like have a healthy decline in their relationship or whatever. They're happier without it. And like, but they are great. They're still friends or
Hmm.
whatever.
Sure.
Have you met anybody in that last camp?
Uh, I'm
Or
in
like,
that camp.
it's
I would
true.
say I would say I am. But there wasn't kids involved.
True.
So
Which
we
I
took
do think adds a different dimension.
sure, sure. So there wasn't that. There wasn't cheating.
Yeah.
So I would absolutely say, but I'm trying to think if there's anybody else I know that's in that last camp.
So
Uh,
my question to you, being in that last camp, because
uh,
you guys still like spend time together, hang out
yeah,
together.
like well, yeah, like holidays and stuff like that, and like
Yeah.
her son, I can consider my nephew. It was his birthday a couple days ago, so I reached out to him and told him, I loved him and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you were in like, do you guys have any mutual friends
Hmm.
from the time that you guys were together?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
everybody's still kosher together, like,
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I had a friend come visit me not too long ago. I can't remember when it was. Maybe let's say within the past 2 years. Came into town for a visit. And one of the things we needed to do was go see her
okay,
because they were still good
they're
friends
still
too.
friends and whatever.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
he was more my friend than hers, obviously.
Right. But they
But
still
we
friends.
all had that dynamic.
Yeah. So have you ever dated somebody seriously since then
Hmm.
that like has to now be incorporated into this whole world?
Yeah, yeah. It was probably well, that's quite a few years ago. It's probably 2015 or so,
Okay.
somewhere in that area, maybe even a little bit before then. And was incorporated into it. And she was divorced, kids, co-parenting, and they were more that middle that you're talking about. They
Okay.
didn't hate each other, but they were
Yeah.
definitely more co-parenting, hated
Yeah.
each other at times, got along really good at other times.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, and she didn't have a problem with it. She didn't love it sometimes though either.
I bet. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
So
yeah, it's we were the one of the polygamy girls, we were talking about how it's really hard when you add all these additional components and stressors onto
yeah.
relationships, whether it's the other co-parents, or exes that may be involved in the relationships to some extent,
Yeah.
family, you add on kids,
Hmm.
you add on like you're operating in two different households, like particularly, like in their situation, or even if I were to progress in this relationship, like you live in two different towns, that are far enough apart from each other that nobody's gonna pick up their kids and
Right.
move anywhere. So like you're
Right.
never gonna be in one house together.
Right.
You're not going to be for the next 10 years or whatever. It's
Yeah.
just a lot of like
Yeah.
additional factors in a relationship.
Yeah. And all right. So let me, I guess, go here too. So in that relationship that I was in with her, me and her ex-husband became really good friends. Right? So, and I think it was mainly because how much the kids liked me.
Yeah.
And I think that was a strong part of it. I guess the son is in his 20s now. But he was like I don't know, he was 14 or something. I mean, he was whatever, he was a kid
Yeah.
back then. So, because I wasn't a jerk to the kids and because I was a much more calmer personality than she was. I think it just kind of like we were talking balancing things out. I think
Yeah.
that helped that. So that was kind of like I would get the call from him sometimes about, hey, the son needed help with this, and it was a different dynamic there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was like, this is weird, but okay. I mean, it all for the common good of
Right.
taking care of the kids, right? But you're just like, because the kids, like, even though they weren't mine, sweet, awesome, and they shouldn't have to go through anything bad just because the parents don't really like each other all that much. And I'm just some fucking clown who's, almost like a passerby, So that's kind of what I felt like, even though we're in a relationship, but I don't know what I would have ever been considered to them. And
Right.
um, it's wonderful that they still reach out to me and say
No,
sweet
that's
things to me. So
amazing.
it's kind of cool.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and the lady I go horseback riding with, like, she was, they were not married, but they were together for like, I don't know, 15, 20 years or something. He had two daughters from a previous marriage,
Yeah.
and they are now no longer together after like 20 years, but the daughters still talk to her. Like, she was just telling me that the one called her to tell her she's pregnant, and I'm
That's
like,
cool.
and she's like, I'm so grateful that, I still have this relationship with these kids. And I'm like, well, you were in their lives for 20 years.
Yeah,
Like,
it's awesome.
that's awesome, of course. But
That's awesome.
I don't know. It's all interesting navigating it all. And like, right. Like, everybody kind of wants to put the kids first, but like at some point too, like you're also a person with your own needs. And like, if you're trying to be in a relationship with somebody, like that also has to be prioritized sometimes.
Sure.
Like,
Sure.
it
I,
has to.
it does. And I think for me, like, I think that the biggest thing that changed my life entirely was when I fucking put my ego down. The moment I put my ego down and like didn't need to pound my chest and say how great I am at life or like whatever and just be good to people. Fuck, life is so much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, no,
Yeah.
no. That's what helped me with the kids. That's what helped me
Yeah.
with the ex uh and it was funny when I when I moved to California, then I moved from California back to the Midwest in 2020, just before COVID. My ex-wife was the one who looked at the house for me, like to make sure that the bones and the structure and all that was good. Then my ex-girlfriend, because we'd broken up with the one I'm talking about, will go by and send me videos of the house and the location. And it was just all like one big, like they wouldn't do it together, but it was just
Yeah, but
like,
they're both doing it. Yeah.
yeah, you talk about your tribe. I mean, it's just all
Yeah.
your tribe, right?
Oh, yeah. No,
So,
absolutely.
and
Well, I mean, and it's, yeah, like we were talking about this too. Like, I mean, at this point, some of these people that are like now getting divorced or whatever were together for like 20 plus years or
right?
whatever, maybe, right? And so, like, they've been with this person for the bulk of their life,
Yeah.
and there's a lot there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of family there, there's a lot of memories there, there's a lot of, whatever. So even if it ended, there's still a lot of history.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's all just like, it's all very fascinating to me about how
Yeah.
it all gets navigated. And everybody does it differently.
Right. Right. And sometimes I just feel like you can tell the quality of a person by how that worked itself out. Like,
Totally.
mm,
Well, and it's funny when I was writing today because she was telling me about her not daughters, but not even I can't even say stepdaughters, like whatever,
right. Sure.
whatever they are, but like they're daughters to her. My dad's remarried, and me and my stepmom got off to a terrible start.
Oh, wow.
Well, 100%. Like, I will say a lot of it was my dad and how he handled it or failed to handle it because my dad's a little bit of a conflict avoider. Uh, but part of it was, me being a 22-year-old brat. Like, that was also a big contributor to it.
Sure. Sure.
And like, I mean, and she just said this, I don't know, maybe in the last year or two that, like, and we are super tight now, like we're very close. And I'm so grateful for it because not only do I have another person, like you're saying, in my tribe who loves me and helps me, but my kids have another person in their life, who looks after them and loves them. But she like said recently, she was like, I did not, there was a time when I did not think we would ever get here.
Sure. Right.
And I was like, absolutely.
Right.
Like, that is a fair assessment. And in many ways, like, I think I'm just as surprised as you are.
Right.
But we did,
Right. Which is awesome, right?
Which is awesome. And like to your point, I think on a certain level says something about both of us, right?
Yep.
Like,
You were 22. I mean, right? You're 22.
I was 22. My dad, when your dad is kind of, doesn't really tell you that he's dating somebody and then you find out from somebody else that he's engaged.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't set the stage well. And, it just didn't. So, I mean, I was more mad at him, but that just meant that I wasn't going to be nice to her.
Sure, of course. Took it out on the evil stepmom.
And again, right, like, would I do that now, in my 40s? No, but in my 20s, it made total sense to me.
Yeah. So let's see, does the guy you're with, does he have a 22-year-old daughter that, you never know?
No, he's got an 18-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a 14-year-old. So yeah.
Good luck.
I mean,
let's make sure everything's on the up and up. And once you define whatever it is, that's my guy. I guess we'll just call him, hey, he's my guy. He's my guy. That's
well, it's funny we were talking about this because my kids have gotten more interested in my life as a person, like outside of them. So like they'll like tomorrow, like, I didn't have them this weekend or whatever. So like they'll come home and not every time, but, frequently now they'll be like, what'd you do this weekend?
Interesting.
They're starting to like ask some of these questions, like the other day I was talking to that guy and my daughter was like, where did you meet him? And I was like, shit. I don't want to tell her I met him on a dating app, like she's 10. Sure. And like, I don't want her to think that's okay. Sure. You know what I mean? But it's like, I don't want to lie to her.
Right. So what'd you say?
Well, she said, she's like, you know him from work, right? And I was like, yeah.
Oh. Okay.
But it's like, again, like a white lie, right? Like I'm doing it because she's a girl and I do not want her thinking like meeting guys online is okay.
She doesn't know how to meet him. Well, she's 10, so I guess that's the thing, though, too. Like if she was 16,
she's the only one of her girlfriends without a phone.
Really? Good.
Yeah, I mean she's gonna be 11. She's in 5th grade, so a lot of them have phones, and I not need a phone. It's fine.
That's crazy. How long are you trying to hold out on that?
12.
Okay, all right.
One more 6th year. Grade. I'm trying to.
Good luck. Good luck.
I know. I made it with my son.
Okay.
She does have an Apple Watch.
Okay.
So that we can text because like once I had to like drop her at one rink and him at another rink, like I needed to be able to get in touch with her,
Sure.
So I was like, a watch is fine. Like it
Stay
works.
strong. Stay strong.
I'm trying. But my point being that my kids are like, starting to ask some of these questions. And it's funny, like his kids have no idea that he's or doing anything. And I'm like, your kids are teenagers. Like, I feel like they would, but then I'm like, he's like, maybe they don't want to know. And I'm like, maybe they don't want to know. I remember, when my dad left, I was a freshman in college. And I very much like wanted my mom to date.
Yeah.
I didn't want to think of her like being at home alone. Like I wanted to know she was okay and entertained and whatever.
Sure.
And I was like interested in her dating life, but I'm like, and I get the boys not asking, but I'm a little surprised that the 16-year-old daughter isn't like.
Yeah.
And maybe she does. Like maybe it's I don't know.
She's also 16, so maybe she's got her own boy world she's working through. Who knows?
Totally. And she's close with her mom, so maybe it would just be
yeah.
Conversation. I don't know, but it's so that's like to your point, it's almost easier when the kids are littler.
There's so many.
My kids, I mean, for right or for wrong, I have been in two serious relationships. One was like 4 years, one was like two.
Right.
And so they've met both, they've now gone through that with me. So
Sure.
I think that is part of the difference too, is like they're kind of familiar with the fact that like, I mean, part of me is always like wondering if they're like, Jesus, mom, why can't you be in a relationship?
Stop. Stop.
It's like, "Dang, what's wrong, mom? Why can't you? Why can't you?"
Stop. Stop. Not at all. Not at all.
But so I think it's a little less foreign to them probably than it is
Sure. Sure.
to
And maybe there's easier for them to talk to you than it is for them to talk to him, just for whatever reason. Not
yeah,
not by any fault of his own, but maybe it's just
no,
the comfort level, you know.
yeah, yeah.
You all kind of
I mean, my
identify
kids are
closer
with
to
me all the time.
yeah, there you go. So that I mean, maybe in like the 16-year-old daughter, like I said, she's close to the mom. Maybe she's just more
Yeah,
concerned about her mom dating than her dad dating.
yeah, yeah.
Who knows?
Or,
It's
I mean,
interesting.
I think at 16, like, you don't really want to think about your parents having any sort of like sexual relationship with
You
anybody.
gross comes out of my head. Like I just hear that in my mind right now. You
Right. Like, I mean,
gross.
I
I
can
don't
remember the
want
first time I realized my parents were like having sex still. You know what I mean? Like, not like they had it just to have us kids, but like I heard them have sex. And you're kind of like, oh, I did not need to know that.
Headphones. I need headphones, please.
I'm
God.
leaving the house right now.
Uh, I walked in on my parents and like I was scarred for life. Yeah, yeah. Like, oh my God. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go jump in a pool of acid or something. Good Lord.
But on the flip side, like as an adult, I'm glad to know that they were still having sex, right? Like,
Totally, totally. But as a
totally. I'm
teenager, I
like,
don't want to
hey,
know
that's
it.
awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you
and
can.
like I would hope, like obviously my kids haven't really gotten to have this, but like in my dream world or whatever, like I would hope I was in a relationship where physical affection was like obvious to my
Yeah,
kids. Not,
sure.
not that they were walking in on us having sex, but
Right.
that like they saw hugs and kisses and, like happiness. Like I would like I did grow up with that. Like my parents ended up divorced for a lot of other reasons, but there wasn't a lack of love
That's
there,
good.
or displayed love.
Yeah.
I mean, I've like
Yeah.
talked to guys or other girls who are like, I've never seen my parents kiss, and I'm like, what?
What? Yeah, I definitely saw mine. Like that's the thing too. Like I think when you see it, you kind of like I don't know, you feel like you see their connection too. I don't know. I
Right.
don't know.
No, that's one of my dating questions I like to ask people is if they know somebody in a relationship that they like look up to. It doesn't have to be a relationship that they would be happy in per se. Like
Uh,
that's the ideal, right? Like are you surrounded by at least one relationship that you're like, this is like what I would love to have? But to me, like the next best thing is like maybe it wouldn't work for you, but you can recognize that like it's healthy and works for them.
it's a vision of good. That makes sense.
Because I think a lot of us don't have that, right? Like a lot
Yeah.
of us don't have a relationship that we would like to emulate or that we admire or,
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a good question. I like it. That's funny. Both my aunt and uncles, like that would have been my answer. Like my
what would have been your answer? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It took me a second to get there. And like who
Yeah.
like at first I was thinking of friends, but
Yeah.
yeah, both my aunt and uncles are that. Like my mom's side, my dad's side, there's one aunt and uncle that just they're amazing again. Like it's perfect. But
Yeah.
um yeah, that's a good question though. I like that.
Yeah,
Um
I mean, and again, it's not like there isn't like a right or wrong answer. I just think it's like kind of a conversation starter too with the
yeah.
like, so what about the because then if they have
Yeah.
it, it's like,
Yeah.
well, what about that
Then
relationship
why? Yeah.
you like? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you can
Totally.
kind of glean some things from that.
Yeah. And then yeah, not just get them to think, but then you can get an idea on what a good relationship for them looks like.
Right. Yeah, like what
Yeah.
about is important to them or,
What's yours?
I've struggled and I've it's fun like so I do have one friend Joy says like the second like it's not a relationship I would be happy in but they are happy in and it works for them and the
Okay.
one thing that I take out of that then I also will say is in this other relationship I'll talk about in a second is mutual admiration they just really like admire and respect each other. And I
That's
think
awesome.
it goes a long way. But I have a good friend, and she gets mad at me for saying this because she's like, you put too much pressure on us. Because I always say that they're kind of like they're my answer to that question.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, I always tell the story, like there's so many times the husband will be like telling me, he's like, God love my wife. Yeah. A funny story. And he's shaking his head, but he's laughing the whole time, and like they just, and like when I first met them, I remember they actually like came up to my mom's lake house with us, and we'd had a couple of drinks, we're playing cards, we're doing whatever, and she's like sitting next to me and she's like, isn't he really cute?
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, it was so adorable. I was like, she was in high school,
That's awesome.
So cute.
Oh.
I mean, personally, no, but but it's funny too, because like I do think he's cute. Like I love his personality. I love them together. I love him as a person. He's just a good, you know what I mean? But it was just kind of funny because I was like, do you want me to say your husband's cute? I don't know. Is this a trick question?
What are you trying to set me up for here? No, there is no threesome. Stop it. No, but he's cute.
Yeah, but they just, genuinely enjoy being with each other.
That's awesome.
They have a lot of respect and admiration for one another, and like they're proud of each other. And
that's great.
And that's, but they're funny and they joke with one another and they can laugh at each other, and so I
that's
think
great.
I mean, and I will say, because when she says that, she's like, put too much pressure on us. I'm like, she has shared things with me when she's upset with him. And I'm like, well, he's fucking pissed me off sometimes. When I'm not even in the relationship, but I'm pissed at what he did to you, And I can say that because he's my friend. And I,
right.
We're not all perfect all the time and we make mistakes, but as far as, and I think that's also, it's real, right? Like it's not.
They talk through it. They work through it. They figure the shit out, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I think the mutual respect, like you're talking about, comes back to. That's the beautiful thing about it. Like you don't hear that too often, to where how proud each other is of one another. That's the best part of it.
Yeah. I mean, I think to really, and I don't know if I've really experienced that either, to be honest. Like
in any relationship.
Yeah, I mean, when I think about it, I'm not sure that I really have like truly admired somebody yet.
It's a lofty goal.
It is. I mean, and I think like maybe you start that way, right? Like you can meet somebody and like, because you're in that like stage and you're like, oh my God, he's so great and he does this and that and whatever. But it's like, to me, the true test is like, does that last?
Yeah.
Years later, and if I looked at my past relationships, it faded.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And then how did theirs sustain? Like, where did it, like, was there, I wonder if there was just something new that came up, or just how situations were handled. And she just like he and her both just open dialogued it and just like, man, that was pretty cool. Just something to trigger that thought, I guess, too.
Yeah. No, for sure. Well, and I right. I mean, I think we know I date assholes, so maybe that's.
Stop it. Stop it.
No, I mean, seriously, like.
It's been a bad run. Yes. Okay. It's been a bad run.
I'm getting that. Listen, I get better each time.
Yeah. Like
I am improving. So that's the sign of true growth, right?
This is like, how are you doing with dating? I'm perfecting my craft.
Yes, there you go.
That's all I'm doing. I'm perfecting my craft. Maybe this is the perfection one. Who knows?
Maybe. We'll see. Like, let's touch base in a few months and see where we're at.
Thank you for being along for the ride on the Swipe Wrong podcast. The show is produced by Jay Pelham. You want to reach out to us? We want to hear your story. 317-426-6616. Make sure to text, leave a voicemail. We'll get back to you. Shoot us an email at swipewrongpod@gmail.com. We are on Facebook, Insta, Twitter, YouTube. We are definitely out there. I am the host of the show. My name is Chaos. And please make sure to take a listen to us next week, because the saga, it continues.